Tide's just started coming in. Soon all this is going to be covered. Quite remarkable. Just a few minutes later, it's coming in faster than it did last night. And the bend in the channel has now disappeared. The channel is noticeably wider. Kind of exciting really, just standing here watching this. Still coming in fast. I was told fishing was best on the rising tide. I just tried and I think I'm going to have to wait until the water stops flowing in. I have no time to get my lure back in before it's taken into trees. Where I'm standing is on the dry mud, but just here in front of me now, the mud's still wet and slippery from last night's tide. I'd sink into that, and I certainly don't want to be anywhere close to that water. The crocs might enjoy me, but I don't think I want that to happen. About 2/3 of the mudflats are covered now, I think. Still coming in fast. It's slowly creeping up the bank here. You know, we're on the site of an old fishing camp, abandoned. I'll show you. There it is over there. And the thought that occurs to me is that even with a boat, it would be very difficult to put a boat out into the water and to get back out unless you went in at high tide and didn't come out again until high tide. And even then, I suspect it wouldn't be very easy. So maybe it's not surprising that the fishing camp was abandoned. Who knows? Now, I'm not a fisherman, even though I've got a fishing rod. I'll give it a go. I'm not really expecting much in the way of results. But the way the water is at the moment, it's looking like it could be a while before I have a go. I'd say there's a good chance that most of that tree's going to be submerged. Well, we've had all the fishing jokes from Mrs. T this morning. Every time I've ever got a rod out, she just grins and says, "What do you want me to get out the freezer for dinner?" But there she is, binoculars in hand, waiting to see some crocs. We actually haven't seen any here yet, but we have no doubt whatsoever that they're here. The Pentecost River's renowned for crocs. Well, the mud flats have all gone. Just one big huge body of water now. Oh, look at that sky. Don't think the flow is actually reduced. Hard to tell. It's still fairly quick when you see something floating along the top. And it's still rising and has, I'm guessing, another metre and a half to rise before it gets to where my feet are. According to the tide tables, the rise today is from 0.9 metres at low tide to 7.8 metres at high tide. Don't know if you can see that down in the water from here. A small fish, pop-eyed mullet, I think. Probably the wrong lens. Can you see the tiny mud skippers down near the water's edge? Seem much larger. There they go, hopping around. I've moved back from the water's edge. Getting a bit too close for comfort. There's that tree you've been watching. The furthest one out. The water's still rising though. That's probably about where it will come to. So maybe, I don't know, probably still close to a metre it's going to come up. Here I am, hello. Here we are, about where the water will come to. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the flow is slowing now, but it's still certainly flowing. We must be pretty close to high tide now. The water level's up to the dry mud line. And out there's the little tree we've been watching to see how far the water came up on it. I just tried flicking out the lure with my rod a little way along the riverbank. The flow was still too much and I was going to get snagged very quickly with the line being taken into the bushes. But maybe soon I'll have another go. How long the water will stop flowing in one direction before it returns the other way is an unknown. I don't know if you can see this, but although the water is actually quite still right close to the bank, you look a little further out and the movement is still quite strong. Look at that, it's coming up higher than what it has been previously. Wetting the dry mud. Well, high tide's been and gone. It came up to where my chair was. It's now gone out a reasonable distance. There's the little bush we were watching the height on. I've been and had a fish, as predicted. Complete and utter waste of time. The moment the tide stopped going one way, it started going back the other way. It gave me a very, very limited amount of time to cast out between the bushes without getting tangled up. And not a nibble. But that's par for the course for me. There you have it. High tide on the Pentecost River in WA on the 23rd, I think it is, of August 2025.